Hey folks, welcome to PlayBranson, the show where you get to know Branson's entertainers better. I'm your host, Chris Meyer, and today's episode is brought to you by iBranson.com. It's the place where you can find the latest Branson show schedules, attraction information, lodging information. So be sure to check out iBranson.com. Our guest today is Greg Haywood. Now this is Greg's first time on PlayBranson, and he's part of Smoke on the Mountain. Now, we're really looking forward to talking to him and learning more about his entertainment career and Smoke on the Mountain. Now, some of you have been watching us on social media, but did you know that we're also on the Vacation Channel, which is Channel 6 on Optimum Cable? You can also find us on 36-1, which is the digital antenna in the Branson area. Now, we launch a new episode every week, and you can find our new episodes at 8 p.m., and then we have a few other episodes throughout the day as well on the Vacation Channel. Now, for our regular viewers, if you have someone you'd like to see on the show, go to our website, playbranson.com, and send us a message. We'd love to know who you'd like to see on a future episode. We'll be back in just a second with Greg.
There are so many things to do in Branson. You need help planning and booking all your fun. You need iBranson.com. You can find everything Branson has to offer from your computer, tablet, or cell phone. You can even buy tickets online or talk to one of their friendly Branson travel specialists. There's no sales pitches, no delivery fees, no service fees, and no waiting. It's fast and easy. Find your fun at iBranson.com. Do it all online or call 877-ENTERTAIN. That's 877-368-3782. iBranson.com.
Hey folks, welcome back to the show. And on today's show, for the first time, I have Greg Haywood, who is a performer at Smoke on the Mountain. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, good to be here.
So we're going to talk about the show in the second half, but you have had a really interesting entertainment journey, as I would like to say. And so tell people about your background.
So this journey back in Branson started a couple years ago. I came back, but originally I'm from Missouri, southeast Missouri, a little town called Kennett. It's a hometown of Sheryl Crow. That's our claim to fame.
There we go.
And then I just grew up coming to Branson. Me and my grandma would take weekend trips, and I kind of fell in love with it as a kid. And it was kind of my dream to honestly come here and perform. I thought this was it. So
that's awesome.
So after high school, I performed through high school, and I was a magician as well, so I did magic through high school and for the churches and things like that. And so when I first moved in here, that was kind of my sights, acting, magic. So moved up. My first job was out of high school was with Bart Rocket Magic Show, and Taylor Reed, and he had a show as well.
Yeah.
Both of those, I stage managed for Bart for probably 2 years, doing lights and sound and stage managing, and then.
You're getting your foot in the door.
Yeah, that's what it was. Kind of
just
a crash course in theater, really, learning everything, and had to know it all. That's one thing about Branson. You find out is the more you can do, the more opportunities you have anywhere in life. But yeah. So I started with that, and then I started taking vocal lessons from Terry. Terry was his name. I can't remember his last name, but he was a big vocal coach in town for the Hughes brothers, especially, and. He knew of an opening at Smoke on the Mountain when it was starting at God and Country.
Okay.
Back in 2007 it was. And I auditioned and got the role as pastor. That was my first professional acting gig in Branson. Did that. Then got Joseph at Silver Dollar City and the Nativity Show. And then moving on from that was Noah at Sight and Sound. Was in the first cast of that at Noah. And then went back to Smoke on the Mountain.
Yeah. But you took a little detour, like you left Branson.
So after that, I did Noah for a year, then went back to Smoke on the Mountain for the Christmas season.
Okay.
And then I thought, I like the theme park atmosphere, and I thought, maybe I'll get out of Branson and try something a little bigger. Not in New York, but I went to Orlando and tried that, and got cast. I was at SeaWorld for a few seasons doing improv on the street, and so that kind of honed my improv and wit and quick thinking. Did that for a bit, then was ready to move to New York. So moved to New York, spent about 8 years there.
New York City.
New York City.
That's a big difference from Branson, Missouri, let me tell
and
you.
Orlando as well.
Yeah, that's a big change.
Yeah, I just jumped in, was auditioning, and eventually needed money. So like most New York actors, I got a serving job. And then I found out how good the money was in New York, waiting tables and in the restaurant industry, and kind of stuck with that for probably 8 years. I was managing and bartending, managing, all of that in the restaurant industry. You do everything.
Yeah, but you like on your LinkedIn page, it looked like you really had moved up in that world. I
did. I was at 2 Michelin star restaurants,
Yeah.
so it was high end. Before I moved back to Missouri, I was at Michelin's Guide Chefs Club, so we would bring in top chefs from around the world that would come in, that would do stints in the restaurant for 2 or 3 months, and people could come and have someone from France or wherever cook personally for them in front of them.
Yeah. And so let me ask a question about that. What would the average meal cost at that point in time?
So there's no a la carte. There's no, I'll have this and some fries. Usually would start around $125 a person, and that's just for food. And then,
And so it'd go up from there.
Yes, and then so we'd add on wine pairings and things. So usually a couple for 2 people around $500.
Yeah, and that's not what Branson people are used to.
Right.
You
No,
know?
I mean, and around here, I guess the Hilton has level 2, and but yeah, it got a little pricey, but people loved it. Where else could you sit down and have that kind of experience right in front of you? So it was cool.
Yeah. So what happened after that?
After that, I was kind of getting burned out on New York. It's for 8 years is a long time, and so an opportunity came up for me to move back to Missouri and start a restaurant with a friend of mine back home in Kennett. So I started doing that, and I just started feeling like the world was closing in back in a small town, back in my hometown, coming from New York, and I just was not happy.
Yeah.
So I did that for a year, and during that year, I had applied to a casting for a TV show. Didn't know what it was, what it really was about. The casting said, looking for people kind of at a crossroads in life that are tired of traditional methods of, if something's wrong or you're sad, here, take a pill and, peel your troubles away and you'll be fine. And so it kind of like said, oh, this is kind of cool. It's in Costa Rica so I filled out the casting and sent it in. And as an actor, you do castings and you never think you're going to get it. You hear so many no's. Well, as soon as I pressed send on that, something in the back of my head just said, I'm going to Costa Rica. I just knew it flat out. And sure enough, a couple days later, they called and were interested. And then the casting process was probably about 8 months.
Wow.
And it was Skype interviews every other day, psych evaluations.
So it took that long to get the job.
Yes, they had to make sure that you were somewhat a little, not crazy, but somewhat on that realm of needing to come to get help in Costa Rica, and that you'll also be sane as you're doing it. So a lot of psych evaluations, a lot of making sure everything's okay. And I had high blood pressure, so I had to go on blood pressure medicine. That was a must. And so finally they called maybe a week before we left in 2019, a week before Thanksgiving, and said, can you leave the day after Thanksgiving? And so I was ready to go. So flew us into Costa Rica, and it was eight people. All of us had different issues we were going there for. And they filmed us for 30 days. You can watch the show now. It's out. It aired on TBS. It's called Lost Resort. Mm-hmm. It's on streaming platforms. HBO Max picked it up. E has played it. You can get it on pretty much anything online. So Lost Resort, and basically you just get to see our journey. It's 10 episodes, and you get to see all the craziness. It's like Big Brother in Costa Rica. But
and so Costa Rica is a great country.
Oh, it was beautiful. They gave us a few days after we wrapped filming. The last day of filming, they put us all, and they said, "Oh, pack up. We're leaving, and then we'll take you to a different spot. To spend the last 2 days at a different place." Mm-hmm. So we all packed up, said our goodbyes on cameras and cried, and they drove everybody around the block and they pulled back around to where we were filming. They said, we just needed to get the real reaction on camera. You guys are going back into where you've been living for the past month. And
So
after we've packed up our lives.
So you did that, and then what do you, after that you come back to Branson?
I came back to Missouri, and I kind of was just ready to do anything. It energized me to go wherever, and then my appendix burst.
Oh my God.
About 2 days after getting back. And I was rushed into surgery within an hour and stayed in the hospital for about a week and a half.
Wow.
And got out and then packed up and moved back to Branson, and that's when COVID hit. So I took that whole 2020 just kind of hanging out, and getting everything together, figuring out what I wanted to do. And then Smoke on the Mountain was moving from 8 p.m. at the IMAX that it had been for years back to 10 a.m. And fortunately for me, unfortunately for the other people, we're losing a lot of cast members who had been there for years. And so it kind of put me in a position of, hey, I've done it before, maybe you have room for me.
Yeah. So you've really had an interesting journey in this business. Like, you've been in it, you've been out of it, you've been in it, you've been out. Like,
yeah.
And so now you're back, and you've been here for quite a while now.
Yeah, this is my third year back, third season. And now I feel this is where I'm supposed to be. I feel if I wouldn't have taken all those roads and various things, that I would have been older and looked back and said, oh, I should have done that, or should have went there. And now I can say, oh, I did do the New York thing. I did do,
Yeah. But here's the deal. If someone goes to Smoke on the Mountain, they don't know you were in this reality TV show.
They do not.
Yeah. And
unless
folks,
they've seen me on the show, yeah.
That's why we do this show, so you can get to know our Branson entertainers better. And we will be back in just a second with more. Hang tight. Going to Branson for some relaxation and fun? You've got to stay with Branson's award-winning hotel family, Meyer Hotels. Meyer Hotels features 5 hotels in Branson with the best locations for your trip. Choose from brands you know and trust, like the Holiday Inn Express on Green Mountain Drive, the Best Western Centerpoint Inn, Comfort Inn at Thousand Hills, and the Comfort Inn and Suites. Enjoy refreshing indoor pools and hot tubs. Do you like free? How about a free hot breakfast each morning? Free vacation planning services, and of course, smiles are always free. Want even more value? Go to MeyerHospitality.com and join our e-club to save 15% off your next stay, and check out incredible deals with our vacation packages. Call 1-877-FUN-STAY to book Branson's award-winning hotels, or visit MeyerHospitality.com. It's your safe choice for award-winning lodging in Branson. MeyerHospitality.com. Hey folks, welcome back to the show. We are here with Greg Haywood, who is with Smoke on the Mountain. Now, maybe you're saying, what is Smoke on the Mountain? And that's what we're going to ask Greg. Greg, tell people, what is Smoke on the Mountain?
Smoke on the Mountain is a musical comedy. It takes place in Mount Pleasant, North Carolina in 1938 at a small Baptist church. And Pastor Oglethorpe, which is me in the show, puts together, he's a new preacher, he puts together a Saturday night sing, a new thing where you're bringing a singing family to the church to kind of increase attendance and get some action in the church. And his car starts running out of gas, starts blowing up when he's traveling on a road, and he pulls into the Sanders family gas station and basically meets the Sanders family, who's a singing, performing family. They hadn't performed in 5 years, but they're ready to get back out on the circuit, and so he invites them to his church. So they come to the church, and they have their set program, and Pastor kind of thinks he has his set program of what he's going to do, and they kind of take over the church service. And things
creates
kinda,
chaos,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, things kind of go down from there. The audience is the congregation, so there's no fourth wall in the show. We reach out and touch you. It's we're at the IMAX. It's like you've got IMAX glasses on. We're right there with you. People become characters in the show that we refer to throughout.
Wow.
There's two older lady characters, Maud and Myrtle, who are kind of the staunch Christian ladies who kind of fund the church. So Pastor Oglethorpe makes sure to keep them pleased and nothing's too crazy, and so they become part of the show. And everybody is featured in the show. That's a good thing. So there's 7 characters, and there's no main character. There's everybody has their moment. Everybody has their song. Everybody plays an instrument.
Okay. So it's like a play.
It is a play. It's a musical comedy. The past 2 years, we've been voted Morning Show of the Year and Comedy Show of the Year.
Okay.
So very funny. There's some, soft moments in it too that kind of make you think. It originally aired off-Broadway, or not aired, but played off-Broadway in New York City in the 90s. And then now it's one of the most produced shows in the country. Written by Alan Bailey and Connie Ray.
Huh. I really think, and I might be wrong on this, but I really think this may have started up at a motel where Happy Joe's Pizza was.
Yeah, the Red Line, right? Is that right on the corner?
Yeah, like way back in the day. Because I feel like I went and saw it there, and it was only there, and that really wasn't a theater, but it was there a short time. Yes. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's where I saw it.
It was brought here by a couple, Angel and Dave, a long time, 25 years ago.
Yeah.
And I think that's where they first were. And then I think they went to the Well, possibly, because I know Mel Tillis' brother, Tommy, he played in the show for a long time back in the day. So I think it went there.
So tell people about where it's at now.
So now it's at the IMAX at the Little Opry Theater. It's the little theater by McFarland's. It's Tuesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. So it's a great way to wake up. Everybody, my friends that know me in New York, they say, "Oh, Greg, you're doing a 10 a.m. show in the morning." And I said, I have been at every show for the past 3 years. I've not missed a show. It's a great way to wake up. I love it. I'm out by noon.
Yeah.
We have the whole day. It'll get you clapping, singing. But yeah, we're having fun.
Yeah, and so that theater is I call it very intimate, because it's not a huge theater.
No.
And so you're going to be very close to the entertainers.
You're right there with us. It's like a black box theater. It feels like church. It's not hard to pretend for me a lot of times to feel like we really are at a church service. I grew up in a Southern Baptist church back home, and so it feels like home. There's a little placard, on the wall that says attendance. You've got your donations, how many people, donated, the building fund.
Yeah. That's awesome. Okay, so here's the deal. Comedy.
Music.
Audience participation. Yes. And live instruments, and everybody's got their part. We've interviewed Tara on the show.
Plays the mom.
Yeah, she's been on a couple of years ago. So.
Michael Jason Frost plays Burl the dad.
Yep.
We've got the Herzog brothers, Forrest Herzog and Justin Herzog. They play Uncle Stanley and Dennis, one of the twins. Catherine King, she's a dancer at Hamner's. She's one in the show, and Rachel Shepard, she is in the show as well, who's at Grand Country.
Yeah. So lots of entertainers, some of them doing other stuff in Branson. So here's the question: when you're done by noon, what do you do with the rest of your day?
Hey, who knows?
Who knows?
You can take me to lunch after the show. Yeah. Whatever you want to do. We don't take an offering as well in the show, so don't worry. You don't have to.
No offering.
No offering. Don't worry about it.
You gave the offering when you bought the ticket.
Exactly.
When you bought the ticket. So folks can they can go check you out at the Branson IMAX website, and they can see there's other shows at the IMAX as well. Do you want to promo any of those?
The newest show is Absolutely Country, Definitely Gospel. Those guys just started. Just met them yesterday, actually, after the show. We have Todd Oliver and his ventriloquism. There's Rick McEwen, does The Gambler, a tribute to Kenny Rogers.
Yep.
Make sure I don't forget anybody. The Petersons, of course,
Yeah.
worldwide.
Yeah. So lots of variety besides the IMAX movie component. So you can go see IMAX or films in the IMAX as well as the Elite Cinema.
It's good to see Smoke, and then afterwards go to McFarland's and have a bite to eat.
Go eat, and then there's shopping out there. So there's a lot to do out at the IMAX Entertainment Complex, folks. So go see Smoke on the Mountain. You can meet this reality TV star from Lost Resort.
Yes.
Almost. Yeah. Lost Resort. And we were talking off camera a little bit about how is it really a reality show or not? And you were like, it pretty much is.
It really is. We're filmed 24/7. I would get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, and I'd see the camera start to follow me, and I'd say, "Hey guys, really," and they'd move the yes
Yeah.
or yes or no, and yeah, it was all real. It really is.
Yeah. So, folks, you can check that out somewhere streaming online. That's Lost Resort, 10 episodes. And then be sure to go check out Smoke on the Mountain. You guys got a couple awards. Tell folks what those were again.
Last year, Comedy Show of the Year, and the year before that was Morning Show
Okay.
of the Year. So.
Well, we'll be back to wrap it up in just a second.
There are so many things to do in Branson. You need help planning and booking all your fun. You need iBranson.com. You can find everything Branson has to offer from your computer, tablet, or cell phone. You can even buy tickets online or talk to one of their friendly Branson travel specialists. There's no sales pitches, no delivery fees, no service fees, and no waiting. It's fast and easy. Find your fun at iBranson.com. Do it all online or call 877-ENTERTAIN. That's 877-368-3782. iBranson.com.
Hey folks, we're wrapping the show up today. We want to thank Greg Haywood for coming out. You can find Smoke on the Mountain at the Little Opry Theater. It's located in the IMAX complex over there on Shepherd of the Hills Expressway. Their show is Tuesday through Saturday at 10 a.m. Now next week's show, we've got a guest from the King's Castle Theater, and so it'll be a surprise to you who it is, but it'll be somebody from the King's Castle Theater. Now, here are some of the limited engagements coming up in the Branson area. Now, through May 27th, which isn't very long, we have Bluegrass and Barbecue out at Silver Dollar City. Great time to see a lot of different bluegrass entertainers. May 9th, we have Wade Hayes over at Wranglers Star-Studded Honky Tonk. May 11th through the 13th, Rhonda Vincent will be in town. May 13th, Matt Gumm. May 18th, Bohemian Queen. Over at the Mansion Theater. May 19th through the 20th, I think the Grascals at Silver Dollar City. May 25th, Morgan Wallen out at Thunder Ridge, south of town. That's the new Johnny Morris Amphitheater. That's going to be their grand celebration. June 13th, Chris Stapleton will be out there as well. And also on June 13th, Gene Watson will be in town over at Wrangler Star-Studded Honky Tonk. Now, if you haven't been to the Wrangler Star-Studded Honky Tonk, big, huge dance floor, great food, lots of entertainment out there every night, in fact, just about every night. June 15th, the Newsboys will be over at Silver Dollar City. If you like Christian rock, they are one of the best. June 16th, Terry Bradshaw and Matt Gumm will have limited engagement shows. July 6th, Matt Gumm will have another one. July 27th, Luke Bryan, Larry Fleet, Chase Matthews, and Alana Springsteen out at Thunder Ridge. And then on August, we have Aaron Lewis, August 3rd at Black Oak Amphitheater. August 10th, Florida out at Black Oak Amphitheater as well. And August 16th, Josh Turner. Lots of concerts out there in August. Now, at the end of August, we have a big retro, I would call it the 1980s Retro Manias over at the Mansion Theater. We have Vince Neil from Motley Crue, Night Ranger, Bobby Brown, Casey and the Sunshine Band, Cinderella's Tom Kiefer, Starship featuring Mickey Thompson, Lou Gramm, the original voice of Foreigner, Stephen Percy, the voice of Rat, Quiet Riot and Jesus Jones, and comedian Pauly Shore. That should be quite the event. You'll want to check that out. Big concert series there at the end of August. If you need help planning your Branson vacation, be sure to go to iBranson.com or call 1-877-ENTERTAIN. Those people can help you plan your entire Branson vacation. Be sure to like our YouTube channel. Check us out on Facebook, or you can go to PlayBranson.com. Music's always better live, so go see some live music this week. That's it for today. We'll see you next week here on Play Branson.